Some questions about exercise. You have a degree in exercise science, Jose. Why does exercise help with diabetes? Why is it such an important component
Why?
to?
Okay, so exercise and physical movement as a whole is one of the best things that you can do to reverse insulin resistance and to stay insulin sensitive. Why? Because our muscles, our skeletal muscles, are the most metabolically active organ in our bodies as long as we activate it. So, what does metabolically active mean? That means that it uses the highest amount of glucose, even at rest. But when you activate them, they become glucose vacuums. They start sucking up all of that glucose from the bloodstream because they need it for energy. So you basically supercharge the suctioning power of your vacuum by moving those muscles. Now, there's different types of exercise. You have cardiovascular exercise, which is swimming, biking, running, dancing. You're moving your body by elevating your heart rate. But then you also have resistance training, which that is performing movement against the force of gravity or against resistance bands or using, or lifting weights. So you have cardiovascular and resistance. If you combine both of them, then you're going to have synergistic effects. You're going to get all of that glucose clearance from burning glucose through cardiovascular training, but you're also going to gain more muscle mass by performing resistance training. So the more muscle that you have, you can just think about it as a bigger engine that your vacuum has. So both in combination are fantastic for you.
And what do you recommend to someone who comes to you and what's the ratio of cardio to resistance training, if there is one that you
Yeah.
recommend?
So when people come to us, like Diana said, everybody's is very individual. So we meet them where they at. And most people can walk. I'm saying most, not all. So for somebody that can walk, our first recommendation would be to start walking after meals. There is a lot of research showing that when you go on a 15 to 20-minute walk after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, you see a much better fasting blood glucose 3 months down the line by sticking to this exercise regimen, right? And your A1C also improves. Why, you may ask, is because if you think about it, when right after we eat, our blood glucose levels are at its highest, right? We just ate some carbohydrates, we just ate some food, our blood glucose is rising. How do we blunt that blood sugar spike? How do we prevent from it getting higher and higher? We use it up. We have to use that energy. So you go on a walk, you move those muscles, you switch on your vacuum, and then you start sucking up all of that glucose that blunts the glucose spike. That is why it's fantastic for you. So that is the first thing that we recommend to people. When it comes to resistance training, what I give our clients is a workout composed of resistance bands, because most people want to start at level 1, then we can go ahead and graduate to free weights. But resistance bands 3 to 4 times a week with a routine that touches your upper body and your lower body, maybe around 5 exercises and then 3 sets per exercise. That would be my number one recommendation, 3 to 4 times per week. And of course, with your walking after meals every single day of the week.
Tell me a bit about that walking. Should it be brisk or can it be if you bring your dog and your dog's a sniffer, is that good enough?
So with the research paper that I read showed is that just a normal paced walk. So it could be walking your dog. It could be a walk around the park, talking to your friend. There, you don't have to increase the intensity to really get the benefits of moving your body. Now, of course, the higher the intensity up to a certain point, let me be clear, the better that it's going to be for your cardiovascular system as a whole. So if you want to go ahead and graduate from this after meal walks, you can go ahead and start jogging. You can go ahead and start biking, and you're going to increase your heart rate for longer periods of time. That is going to strengthen your cardiovascular system. That is going to strengthen your glucose vacuum suctioning power. That's going to overall benefit your overall health. Also, it creates a negative caloric balance, because the more exercise that you do, the more calories that you are going to burn. As a matter of fact, I just did an Ironman a couple months ago, and I burned 10,000 calories. 10,000 calories in one day. That is crazy. Well, of course, I don't recommend anybody to burn 10,000 calories in a day, but the more exercise that you do, the more of a negative caloric balance that you're going to create. And in turn, that leads to weight loss. And weight loss increases your insulin sensitivity.
Thank you for that, for those first few steps for someone who's exercising.